Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. Crazy. The female emperor's disciple wants to live with me. Chapter 51. Lu Changge didn't expect that people in this world play so much. There is still a flying conference. It's so rude. Do not. This is simply a perverted custom. Master Lu doesn't seem to be familiar with the Sci-Fi conference. In fact, the Sci-Fi conference is our Fili sect, as well as the Fatianmen, Feixiancheng, and Fisheng Pavilion. The four sects meet every 10 years. Let's not hide what the head of Lu said. In the past, when the Xiaoyao sect was strong, when we held the flying conference, the head teacher of the Xiaoyao sect was the host of the flying conference, so this time I also came to invite Lu. The head should be the host. Chong Yuan couldn't help but explain when he saw that Lu Changge didn't know much about the flying conference. Xiaoyao sect and Fili sect used to have a very good relationship. But then the Xiaoyao sect became more and more declining. So far, the Xiaoyao sect has fallen, and even the head teacher doesn't know about the flying conference. It's pathetic. I see, I understand. After hearing Chong Yuan's explanation, Lu Changge finally understood. These flyings are not these flyings. It's just that Lu Changge thought too much. Then Lu head teacher, our flying conference will be held in 3 days. I wonder when Lu head teacher will come to our flying sect to participate in the flying conference. Chong Yuan said to Lu Changge. Because Chong Yuan has a good relationship with head teacher, the predecessor of Xiaoyao sect. So at this moment, Chong Yuan has a very good attitude towards Lu Changge. Well, I'm not interested in the flying conference. I'll ask a few of my disciples. If they want, I'll send a few of them to participate. Lu Changge said lightly. Lu Changge is telling the truth. The flying conference is probably very tempting to others. But for Lu Changge, there is really no appeal. Lu Changge's only wish now is for his disciples to become stronger and stronger on the road of cultivation. In this way, he will become stronger and stronger. Hey, Xiaoyao sect still has disciples. Chong Yuan couldn't help but said in surprise. Xiaoyao sect can't have disciples. Lu Changge's face darkened. Cough. Lu head teacher misunderstood what I meant. I meant that because the previous head teacher had never recruited apprentices, so at this moment, I was a little surprised to hear that Xiaoyao sect also had disciples. Chong Yuan couldn't help but said awkwardly. I recruited 4 disciples, Lu Changge said. Then he said loudly, Cheng Zan, Rishan, Sixuan, and Chengqing stop cultivating and come to the teacher's courtyard. Lu Changge said this. Cheng Zan and others who were originally concentrating on cultivation. All heard, then stopped cultivation one by one. Came to the garden. Teacher Cheng Zan has met master. The disciple has seen the master every day. Teacher Chengqing has seen master. Teacher Sixuan has seen master. Cheng Zan, Shi Rishan, Li Chengqing, and Xiao Sixuan all saluted Lu Changge respectfully. When Cheng Zan and others entered the courtyard, Chong Yuan couldn't help but look at the 4 disciples of Xiaoyao sect in front of him. Cheng Zan has a terrible sword chi throughput all over her body. Shi Rishan is surrounded by sword lights. The whole person is like a peerless sword, giving Chong Yuan a very dangerous feeling. Li Chengqing looked a little worse, but when he raised his hands and feet, there seemed to be formations surrounding him. Xiao Sixuan held a guqin in his hand, dignified and elegant, with a bit of heroic air in his brows, not weaker than a man in the slightest. How come these 4 disciples are so extraordinary? But this sect leader, apart from his handsome looks, he seems to be ordinary. This Xiaoyao sect suddenly makes me unable to see through. These 4 disciples, talent feels all it's extraordinary. If you can become a disciple of my Fili sect, that would be great. Chong Yuan thought a lot in his heart at this moment. Chong Yuan felt that it seemed that he really couldn't find Tianzhao who could have the same temperament as the 4 disciples in front of him. Disciples, this is Filezong head teacher, I've met Chong head teacher. At this moment, Lu Changge did not know Chong Yuan's true thoughts, and said to the 4 disciples. I've seen head teacher. Cheng Zan and the others saluted. It's a pleasure to meet you. For these 4 apprentices of Lu Changge, Chong Yuan liked them more and more. Disciples, Chong head teacher is here this time because he wants you to go to the flying conference. I wonder if the 4 of you have any ideas. Lu Changge asked the disciples. Lu Changge's current thinking is if several apprentices want to participate, that Lu Changge will also support. My apprentices have been working very hard in cultivation recently. But the only fly in the ointment is the lack of actual combat. Lu Chang'e didn't want his apprentices to become flowers in the greenhouse. This world is incomparably dangerous, and only strong strength is everything. Otherwise, everything is negotiable. If you don't have a strong strength to support you, you will live in this world like an ant, and you may die at any time. 4 Flying Conference. Li Changqing scratched his head and said in embarrassment. Although Li Changqing has not experienced the 4 Flying Conference. But for some additional knowledge, there is also some understanding. Sci-fi, isn't that the one? It's exciting to hear the name. A few melons, what are you thinking? Don't think about it. This 4 Fei Conference is the Youth Tianzhao Conference of Fei Leizong and the other 3 sects. Seeing Li Changqing's thoughts free himself, Lu Chang'e couldn't help but slap and remind him. Master, the disciple is wrong. Li Changqing quickly apologized. Master, Rishan thinks that this 4 Flying Conference can be attended. We have been cultivating for so long, and we are going out to meet the world. It just so happens that we can take advantage of this 4 Flying Conference. Let's test our own strength, but often head teacher. I want to ask you a question, that is, can we participate in the actual combat? Shi Rishan said involuntarily. Shi Rishan had naturally heard of the 4 Flying Conference held by the 4 sects including Filezong. Of course, if the 4 of you want to participate in the competition, then I can let you represent me to fly to the sect to participate. Chong head teacher nodded. Then we will participate in the competition for Filai sect. If we achieve good results, will there be rewards? Li Changqing couldn't help but wonder. Haha, of course, as long as the 4 of you get good grades, the rewards will be very rich. Chong Yuan laughed. If that's the case, I'm willing to participate. Li Changqing couldn't help but glisten when he heard the reward. As long as the money is given, Li Changqing feels that he can participate. If that's the case, then the 4 of you should go and participate. Seeing the 4 apprentices eager to try, Lu Chang'e finally nodded. Thank you, Master, do you want to go too? Chang Zan asked Lu Chang'e. The 4 of you should go with Chong head teacher first. If you are a teacher, you will see the situation. If I want to come, I will come. If I don't want to come, I will not come. Lu Chang'e said. At present, Lu Chang'e has really not decided whether to go to the 4 Flying Conference. Good master. Chang Zan and others nodded when they heard what their master said. Chang Zan has a feeling. That is, on the surface, his master said that he might come, or he might not come. But it will come eventually. Don't look at the indifferent appearance of his master, but in fact, his master cares extremely deeply for their 4 apprentices. Chang Zan still knew this. Then Lu head teacher, we say goodbye. Chong Yuan cupped his hands towards Lu Chang'e and said. After Chong Yuan finished speaking, he took Chang Zan, Li Changqing, Shi Rishan, and Xiao Sixuan into a rainbow and headed towards Filai sect. Lu Chang'e looked at the backs of his 4 apprentices and couldn't help thinking. In the end, he couldn't help but muttered to himself, when the game is over, I'd better go there, they are my dear ones now, absolutely nothing can happen, and it seems that they are lucky and have a dead air on their heads. This means that there is a great danger coming to this 4 Flying Conference. At the same time, there was a mountain located 100,000 miles away from the Filai sect. It looks far from here. The mountain is surrounded by mist. Vision is very blurry, and no grass grows here. If you get close, you will see that the mountain is bare. It's like something that's been bald. Therefore, there is no one living around here at all. But it is such a mountain. But it has become the site of the Blood Demon sect. In fact, this bare mountain has been hollowed out. Inside this mountain, there are countless palaces standing. Now, in a great hall, the magic is swirling here. Howling and howling, it is like a 9 secluded the underworld. If ordinary people enter here, I am afraid that they will immediately faint from fright. At this moment, this is the territory of the Blood Demon sect. In this Blood Demon sect great hall, on top of the throne, sitting alone, covered in black clothes, only a pair of eyes are exposed. These eyes are like to abyss, and endless magical energy is released. This person is the Blood Demon sect leader. And in the next position, it is a group of Blood Demon sect elders and other Blood Demon sect cultivators. When these elders and the cultivators of the Blood Demon sect swept to the location of the Blood Demon sect leader, one by one, they couldn't help but tremble. Because of the aura on Shui Sha's body, it was simply terrifying to the extreme. Don't say it's a shot. Even the demonic energy that was released was enough to make them fall to the ground and howl miserably. Sect leader, have you broken through to the Dharma realm? After feeling the aura on his sect leader, an elder couldn't help but ask, his eyes twinkling. That's right, I am now a practitioner of the realm first stage. 100 years ago, our Blood Demon sect was surrounded and suppressed by the four powerhouses of Filai sect, Fitianmen, Feixiancheng, and Fisheng Pavilion, and almost the entire army was wiped out. This sect was also seriously injured in that battle. Quote, but 100 years later, what they never dreamed of was that not only did the cultivation base not regress, but instead broke through the realm. Bloody said solemnly. In Shui Sha's mind, he thought of the peerless battle that almost wiped out the Blood Demon sect 100 years ago. A cold light flashed in the bloody eyes. That's great, God bless me Blood Demon sect. Congratulations to sect leader for breaking through the law, realm, my Blood Demon sect, invincible, the lord of the holy religion, Wencheng Wud, for thousands of years, to rule rivers and lakes. Congratulations to sect leader for breaking through the law, realm, my Blood Demon sect, invincible, the lord of the holy religion, Wencheng Wud, for thousands of years, to rule rivers and lakes. Hear yourself sect leader breakthrough to legal realm. Thousands of people in the Blood Demon sect knelt down and congratulated. Jia 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 Jia. Listen to the words of these disciples present. Shui Sha said that he was very useful, and he couldn't help laughing. But that laughter made the scalp tingle. It doesn't feel like laughing. Rather, it was like howling and howling. Jia Jia. It's been 100 years, and now this seed has broken through to the realm, it's time for us to take revenge. The spies we placed in the Feilai sect sent information that 3 days later would be the day when the four great sects would hold the Four Fei conference. I think after 3 days, it will not only be a good day for the four sects, but also a good day for our Blood Demon sect. Because after 3 days, this seed will kill them all in one net, in order to avenge the revenge of the extermination of the sect. I think you who are present should feel the same as this, because your relatives were killed by cultivators from the four major forces in that battle. Blood Demon said to the cultivators present. Lord sect leader, my wife was killed by the cultivators of the four major sects back then. I must take revenge. Yes, my mother's father's grandfather's second sister-in-law was also killed by the four sects, and I want revenge. I also want, when the time comes to catch the women of the four big sects, I will ravage them severely, and make them crawl under me and call me dad. Many demon sect cultivators couldn't help but say ruthlessly. Well, since everyone has hatred, then we will set off with this seat tomorrow to annihilate the four major sects such as the Filai sect. When the time comes, the men will become our blood food, and the women will catch them back for everyone to have fun. Bloody said gloomily. Long live sect leader, long live, long live. Long live sect leader, long live, long live. Hearing Zusha say this, the Blood Demon cultivators present were all excited. Many disciples have even thought of a super exciting scene. That's 3 days later. They came to the Four Flying Conference under the leadership of Lord Sect Leader. Then Lord Sect Leader killed all the men in the Four Flying Conference in one fell swoop. And women are controlled by them, and then these women for their ravages. Thinking of this scene, these Blood Demon cultivators couldn't help but stand up all of a sudden. Not to mention the time to practice this move for the Blood Demon sect. Chong Yuan and others didn't know it at all, and of course they couldn't think of it. Because 100 years ago, the four sects united to annihilate the sinful Blood Demon sect in one fell swoop. As for the sect leader at the time, he was seriously injured. A lot of people even thought that the Blood Demon was dead. So I never thought that Blood Demon would make a comeback. At the same time, on the top of the mountain where Filezong is located, the atmosphere is extremely joyful. Because 3 days later is the Four Flying Conference. All the young disciples were full of anticipation. I hope to be able to fly in one fell swoop at the Four Flying Conference. Once famous, not only can it become the object of sect's vigorous training, but it can also attract countless female disciples to look at it differently. You can even get the most beautiful senior or junior sister. This kind of thing is beautiful when you think about it. Right now, Chong Yuan brought Chang Zan and others to Filai sect. When it came to Filaizong, 3 days later will be the day of the 4 Fei Lai sect. In the past 2 days, the 4 will be in the Fei Lai sect to recharge their batteries. I believe that with the strength of the 4, the Fei Lai sect will be held in 3 days. You will definitely soar to the sky, Chong Yuan said to Chang Zan and the others. Thank you, Chong sect leader. Chang Zan and others nodded. Next, I still have some things to deal with. The next 4 are at your own disposal. This is my sect leader token. If the 4 have any needs or required cultivation resources, take my block token, no one can stop you. Chong Yuan said, and then took out the own sect leader token. Chong sect leader, this. Chang Zan and others became embarrassed. Don't be polite, my Filai sect and Xiaoyao sect are in the same spirit, take it. Chong Yuan couldn't help saying. Alright then, we're welcome, please be sect leader. Chang Zan finally nodded. Then the sect leader token of Filaizong was settled. Next, Chong Yuan just left here. And Chang Zan and others. Then he wandered around in Filaizong. Junior brother and sister, what do you think of this Filai sect? Chang Zan couldn't help but ask. It looks more elegant than our Xiaoyao sect, and the mountains are more beautiful, but I always feel that there is something missing. Shi Rishan said. I think so too. Li Chengqing nodded in agreement. I think it's because of the lack of master. The mountain is not high, the immortals are famous, the water is not deep, the dragon is the spirit, the peerless master like the master, no matter where he is, he can make a mountain become famous mountain, and although the peak of the Filai sect is more magnificent and beautiful than the mountain where our Xiaoyao sect is located, it lacks spiritual qi. Xiao Sixuan said involuntarily. Junior sister Sixuan, you can do it. I didn't expect your educational level to be so high, why the water is not too deep, the mountains are not high, etc. It sounds awesome. After hearing Xiao Sixuan's words, Cheng Zan and the others all said some envied. Senior brother and sister, I read a lot when I was young, so naturally I know more. Xiao Sixuan said a little embarrassedly. It makes sense. Cheng Zan and the others all nodded. Then the 4 suddenly walked forward. After walking some distance, it is to come to a relatively remote place in Filaizong. Just then, there was a scream from the front. Hear this voice. Cheng Zan and the others all looked at each other. Suddenly there is a strange feeling. What's the situation? Is there a robber in Filaizong here? Senior brother and sister, it seems that a girl has been kidnapped. Li Chengqing said in a righteous manner. It seems so, let's go and see. Cheng Zan nodded. These 4 apprentices of Lu Chengge are all pure and simple. I did not receive any other education when I was a child. So it's basically blank in what respect? Look for the sound. Not much time. Then Cheng Zan and the other 4 saw a very shocking scene. At this moment, I saw a man and a woman, hugging each other. There was also a scream of pain. Let go of that girl, it's too much, and the girl is kidnapped under the blue sky. It's not as good as pigs and dogs. I met your Chengqing grandpa today, you. I rely on. When approached, Li Chengqing and others all changed their faces. One did not know what to say. I thought the girl screamed so miserably just now. Was held hostage. Now it seems, this girl is being held hostage like this. Ah, who are you? After seeing Cheng Zan and others, the expressions of the 2 disciples who ate apples from Filaizong changed. The 2 were ready to escape. This, misunderstanding. We didn't see anything. The young man and woman just now gave Cheng Zan, Li Chengqing and others a perfect life lesson. At the same time, in a great hall in Filaizong, Chong Yuan told the elders of Filai sect what he had seen in Xiaoyao sect. Sect leader, are you saying that the Xiaoyao sect has 4 incomparably heaven-defying disciples? How is this possible? Isn't the Xiaoyao sect already in decline? The Filai sect elder couldn't help but said in disbelief. I didn't believe it at the time, but these 4 disciples are really extraordinary. These 4 disciples have a strong aura, and each has a unique skill. This time, the first few disciples of our Filai sect are not in this experience. Are you injured? I think it's time for the 4 of them to go up. Filaizong sect leader Chong Yuan said after thinking about it. It's a donkey or a mule, you won't know if you take it out and I agree with sect leader's approach. Several elders nodded. I have another idea, that is, after the competition is completed in 3 days, we can keep these 4 disciples in the Fili sect. They are cultivating in the Xiaoyao sect, which will only hinder their future. Chang Yuan said. Chang Yuan felt that if they could turn Cheng Zan and others into disciples of Fili sect, they would make a lot of money. Since the sect leader thinks these disciples are so extraordinary, of course we agree. Several elders all agreed with Chang Yuan's idea. The next 2 days, Cheng Zan and others all served delicious food. There are also all kinds of cultivation resources. Cheng Zan and others did not refuse either. The only thing that made Cheng Zan, Li Chengqing and others fluctuate in their hearts was the scene of the pair talking about life in Fili Zongo Mountain when they first came that day. Cheng Zan was really unexpected. It turns out that men and women can play like that. But it sounds like a girl is a good loser. There was a hint of curiosity in his heart. Without Cheng Zan, he quickly shook his head. Put that thought out of your head. Cultivation is the most important thing. As the master said, strength is king, and everything else is a cloud. When the strength is strong, everything will be there. Just like that, 3 days passed quickly. The morning of the 3rd day. It is the day of the 4 flying conference. Today is an extraordinary day for the disciples of the 4 great sects. Because of the 4 flying conference, it is a grand event for the younger generation of the 4 sects. Just perform well, you might even be able to fly yourself into the sky. Now, on a spacious square in Filazong, there are 4 high platforms built here. 3 are playing tables. The other one is the place where the sect leader of the 4 sects and the elders watch the battle of the young Tianzhao. I see that everyone is here. Now I announce that the Fili sect, Fitianmen, Feixiancheng, and Fisheng Pavilion will officially start the 4 flying conference every 10 years. After all, Filazong sect leader Cheng Yuan stood up and said loudly. Wow, I heard that the 4 flying conference officially started. The disciples present showed a touch of excitement. I must soar to the sky at the 4 flying conference. I want to prove to her how good I am. She is not worthy of me at all. I want to get the top 5 and catch up with the little junior sister I like. She promised me that as long as I get the top 20 ranking in the 4 flying conference, she is willing to marry me. Many of the young Tianzhao present couldn't help but rush to Heavenly Dao. Each and every one of them is holding a sigh of relief. That is, they must achieve a good ranking in this game. Become the brightest star in today's game. Long Pavilion Master, do you want to say something to everyone? Chang Yuan looked at the Ascension Pavilion Master and asked. I don't have anything to say. Everyone cheers and strives to get a good ranking. The top place in the competition will have a very generous reward. The owner of the Ascension Hall stroked his sexy little beard and said. We don't have anything to say either. I hope we all do our best. The sect master of Fitianmen and the city lord of Feixiancheng nodded. When several leaders of the 4 flying conference were talking like this. Now, in the group of disciples below, several elders from the 4 major forces nodded to each other, and there was a cold light in their eyes. Start the formation, let's start. These came from the 4 major forces, and they were actually cultivators of the blood demon sect shouted. With this burst of drinking sound came out. The monstrous aura of these cultivators burst out. Then it spread out around the competition table. Boom! The next moment, a crimson's brilliance rose from the center of the square. Then all the disciples were surrounded. What's the situation? Is it to protect us? Something's wrong. We were originally in the sect, do we still need protection? After seeing the blood-red film wrapping themselves, the disciples present were puzzled. And Filazong sect leader Cheng Yuan, the master of the Ascension Hall and others, after seeing the formation of this crimson. One by one his face changed. Blood demon formation. Chang Yuan frowned. Ha, Chang Yuan, do you still remember this formation? It's really good. Yes, this is indeed the blood demon formation. Back then, your 4 major forces destroyed our blood demon sect. Today is your time to pay your debts with blood. You should. I never dreamed that, Daddy, I was a member of the blood demon sect, right? After hearing Chang Yuan's words, an old man laughed. That laughter sounded very presumptuous. 5 elders, are you actually a remnants of the blood demon sect? Chang Yuan's expression turned extremely embarrassed at this moment. When Chang Yuan's face was extremely embarrassing. At this moment, the sect masters of the other three major forces, the pavilion masters and others all looked extremely embarrassed. Because at this moment, I can only see the people in this formation that were activated just now. There are deputy museum owners, deputy door owners and others who have their own forces. I can't believe that the Blood Demon sect remnants have such important positions in our four major forces. The master of the Ascension Pavilion almost spat out a mouthful of blood. I'm so stupid, I didn't even find out their identities. Feli City Lord said after seeing that the deputy city lord where his forces belong turned out to be remnants of the Blood Demon sect. HMPH, when your four major forces slaughtered our relatives, today, all of you here have to die. These Blood Demon cultivators who were hidden in the four major forces said solemnly. Suddenly there is murderous aura here. Elder sister, what should I do? After seeing this scene, Shirishin couldn't help asking Cheng Zan. Let's wait and see what happens. I think since this Blood Demon sect has the ability to place spies among the four major forces, things are not that simple. Cheng Zan couldn't help saying. Don't worry, we have a peerless master here, so what are you afraid of? Li Chengqing said confidently. Yes, maybe the old master already knows about this matter. Xiao Sixuan also nodded. One by one has worshipped Lu Changge to the bone. You think you only want to move our four major forces with just a few of you remnants, what a wishful thinking. Chong Yuan stared at the Blood Demon sect remnants in front of him and sneered. Jia, of course they can't, what if you add all the cultivators from this seat in the Blood Demon sect? Just after Chong Yuan's words fell, a gloomy voice came out. As this figure came out, then a huge demonic energy like a mountain suddenly ripped apart the void. Appeared in the sky above the crowd. Soon, everyone can see clearly. In this tumultuous demonic energy, all the practitioners of the Blood Demon sect were wrapped. There are more than 1,000 of these demon race cultivators. The first one, a monstrous magic lingered all over his body. Holding a red umbrella in his hand. Can't see the face clearly. But all the practitioners present can be clearly perceived. This guy with the red umbrella is definitely an amazing existence. Because it hasn't started yet. The breath released from their bodies made them feel like they were about to suffocate. Blood Evil, are you still alive? After seeing the cultivator with the red umbrella at the head, Chong Yuan, the master of the Ascension Hall and others turned extremely embarrassed. 100 years ago, the Feli sect and other four major forces united to destroy the Blood Demon sect with many evils. But never imagined, this Blood Demon sect leader is still alive. This is really surprising. Jia, thanks to you guys, not only am I still alive and well, but my cultivation base has broken through to the realm. Bloody Voice said coldly. Looking at these people in front of him, the killing intent on Shueisha is naturally intense to the extreme. 100 years ago, it was because of the people in front of him that he almost destroyed their Blood Demon sect. Today, their Blood Demon sect will let these four major forces pay their debts with blood. What? He's the famous blood fiend who eats people without blinking, and cultivation base has reached the Dharma realm. Ah, we're finished. I don't want to die, I'm so big, I haven't even tasted a woman. I'm worse than you, let alone taste that, I haven't even touched a woman's tits. Mom, don't leave food for the baby in the future. The baby probably won't be able to eat that delicious meal you made from now on. Woo. After hearing Zusha's words, not only Chong Yuan and the others' faces became extremely embarrassed. The disciples of the four sects present were even more desperate. Because the disciples present knew the most powerful cultivators of their four major forces, like sect leader and others, cultivation base is also the pinnacle of Gold Core realm. And now the Blood Evil has reached the Dharma realm. First stage realm, first stage days. This means that the Blood Evil can solve all the cultivators present. It would be extremely desperate for anyone to change this. Time. The place where the four major forces are located is shrouded in despair. This desperation penetrated into everyone's heart and bones. A lot of fresh, white and tender blood food, Jia. You can despair as much as you can. The more desperate you are, the more delicious it will be when I eat blood food. Seeing that the disciples of the four major forces were completely in despair, Shueisha couldn't help but laughed grimly. Although the Blood Evil is smiling. But that laughter sounds. It's like a ghost crying and wolf howling, it makes the scalp numb. HMPH, Shui Sha, you have done a lot of evil, even God will not allow you. Today, we will destroy you on behalf of justice. Chong Yuan said solemnly. With Chong Yuan's words falling, Chong Yuan jumped into the air with the owner of the Ascension Hall and others. Then stood in front of the blood evil. It's up to you. Get out of here. Seeing that Chong Yuan and the others were preparing to fight against him, Shui Sha said gloomily. With the bloody words falling, the red umbrella in Zusha's hands twirled. Wow wow. Time. One after another, blood-red air waves flowed out with incomparably huge power, crushing down towards Filezong sect leader and others like a wave. Destroy the sky with one sword. Knife cold Kyushu. ... See the powerful attack of this blood evil. Filezong sect leader Chong Yuan and others all displayed their own powerful secret technique. For a while, the sword light here is soaring to the sky. Sword chi is full of sky. Then face the powerful attack of the blood evil. Boom, Kacha. However, when the powerful attack of Filezong sect leader and others collided with the blood-colored wave bombarded by the blood evil, it immediately collapsed in the void. Then, the blood-red wave that was bombarded by the blood evil was madly crushing towards Chong Yuan and others. Boom, boom, boom. In the face of this powerful wave of blood, Filezong sect leader and others couldn't resist at all. It was directly beaten and flew out. Finally hit the ground hard. There were several big holes in the ground. For a while, smoke billows here. Terrifying murderous intent spreads. Puff. After hitting the ground, Filezong sect leader and others struggled to stand up. A mouthful of thick blood spewed out of each mouth. This sect leader and others can't even take a single blow from the blood demon sect. This is too scary, right? After seeing this scene, the disciples of the four major forces were once again desperate. At this moment, one by one felt the approaching doomsday and death. This feeling of knowing that you are going to die. It's really hard. Senior sister, this blood demon is so powerful that it can seriously injure the sect leader of the four sects with a single blow. Li Chengqing frowned when he saw that the four sect leaders were seriously injured. It's really scary. This should be the gap on cultivation base. The gap between Gold Core Realm and Dharma is still huge. Chang Zan nodded and said, Brother and sister, what should we do now? Xiao Sixuan asked Chang Zan and others. Here Chang Zan is the big sister. Therefore, everyone is waiting for Chang Zan's opinion. Come on, a salad, Chang Zan said without hesitation. Cold salad. Shi Rishan and the others all widened their eyes. It's his mother's work. I think with the clever calculation of the old master, I guess I already know about this, so why he didn't show up, I guess he just wants to see the performance of the few of us. Chang Zan burst into a foul language to explain road. Senior sister, you seem to have a point. Master is peerless, so you must already know. Li Chengqing also nodded. Okay, I agree, let's do it. Xiao Sixuan and Shi Rishan both nodded. Who is afraid of who? Dao Jing said. The ruthless is afraid of the horizontal is afraid of the stunned is afraid of the death, who is afraid of who? Chang Zan and others quickly made up their minds. Do it. They can't let Shizen's old man's face be disgraced. Although Chang Zan and others knew that they were not the opponents of the bloody evil in front of them. But they still want to try. When Chang Zan and others were discussing the blood evil at the moment, looking at the despairing expressions of everyone present, expressed great satisfaction. The disciples of the four great sects are more desperate. He'd be more comfortable waiting to be sucked into blood essence by him. The blood food after sucking will be more helpful to his cultivation base. Because the resentment generated after despair becomes more terrifying and powerful. Jia, Chong Yuan, you should never have dreamed that one day the four major forces will be wiped out by my blood, right? Today is a good day with a clear sky. I really want to recite a poem. Head, Shui Sha said incomparably complacent. Yin, your grandma's leg, you want to kill us, ask your grandfather if I agree. After Zusha said this, a voice came out. Hear this. The disciples of the four major forces were stunned. That guy, very courageous. We were all about to freak out. You even scolded Blood. Does this despise yourself for dying too slowly? Bloody is also stunned. These guys are dying. How could anyone dare to say such wicked words to him? Immediately, the bloody red umbrella was raised high. Then the pair of abyss-like blood-colored eyes that were only exposed looked at the cultivator who just said this. At this moment, I saw that the one who said this just now was a young man in Xingyi. Handsome, extraordinary temperament. The calm look made Shui Sha feel incredible. And beside this young man in Xingyi, there were 2 women and 1 man. The man's appearance is rough, but his temperament is equally extraordinary. As for the other 2 girls, they were unparalleled in appearance. Just looking at it makes people feel the urge to grab it and play with it. Who are you? Shui Sha's eyes were like a devil who chose someone to devour him, staring at his own stone son Heavenly Dao just now. I'm your grandfather. When grandson sees grandfather, why don't he kneel down and bow down? Shi Rishan said domineeringly. Ha ha, Shi Rishan said this. Originally, the cultivators who were all in despair in the 4 sects were amused by Shi Rishan at this moment. One by one, they were all overwhelmed by Shi Rishan's arrogance. Dare to scold Shui Sha at this time. Very manly. A real man with a horse pull. Very hard and rough. Old Chong, is this a disciple of your Fili sect? The master of the Ascension Hall and others said in surprise. Because Shi Rishan and others looked very extraordinary. Obviously cultivation base is not high. But that kind of domineering and awe-inspiring, indifferent when facing death, people can't help but feel awe. To be honest, the 4 of them are disciples of Xiaoyao sect. Chong Yuan shook his head and said. Chong Yuan did not expect that these disciples would be so domineering. Xiaoyao sect, hasn't it been emptied? How come there are still disciples? After hearing Chong Yuan's words, the master of the Ascension Pavilion couldn't help but be surprised. I don't know this, anyway, the 4 of them were brought out by me from Xiaoyao sect. Chong Yuan said. I don't know how tall the sky is, this seat will let you become the first blood food for this seat. As for the 2 beautiful girls beside you, this seat will capture it back 100 times, 100 times. Shui Sha Shen said. With the bloody words falling, Shui Sha shook the red umbrella in his hand. Boom, a terrifying blood-red wave ripped apart the void and came towards Shi Rishan. Be careful. Seeing Shui Sha attacking Shi Rishan, Chong Yuan could only be anxious at the moment. Because Chong Yuan was not lightly injured in the duel with Shui Sha just now. Now is the shot, also impossible. Because of his strength, the blood evil is a big realm. So it's just a reminder. To be frank, at this moment, Chong Yuan's heart is very uncomfortable. Because the talent of Cheng Zan and others is very extraordinary. If he were to die here today, Chong Yuan felt that the loss to the human race was too great. But Chong Yuan also knew. He couldn't do anything about it today. Because I know for a long time that no one of the cultivators here is an opponent of Shui Sha. What's more, there are thousands of helpers around Zusha. Junior brother and sister take action, let them see what the 4 of us are capable of. Cheng Zan said when he saw Shui Sha's move. With Cheng Zan's words falling, Cheng Zan's sword was unsheathed instantly. Then a sword cut out. Boom, with a roar came out. An incomparable sword ray cut through the sky, as vast as a long river. Then faced the blood-red tide. After Cheng Zan shot. The second shot was Shi Rishan. 9 cuts with 1 knife. Shi Rishan burst out. The treasured sword in his hand also slashed out. Although Shi Rishan only cut out a knife. However, this knife instantly appeared 9 sword beams, slashing towards the red wave. Xiaoyao formation. Li Chengqing also shot at this moment. A wave of the arm. Time. A formation appeared. Then it covered the heads of everyone. Clank. I saw 3 brothers and sisters take action. Xiao Sixuan is not behind in the slightest. The guqin appeared in his hand. Time. A melodious sound of the piano washed out from the guqin. The sound of the piano is like a clear spring in the mountains. With every sound of the piano came out. But its killing intent. Boom. Soon, the attacks by Cheng Zan, Shi Rishan, Xiao Sixuan and Li Chengqing collided with the bloody wave. The roar continued. Horrible fallout rolls. Look around. The scene here at the moment looks very spectacular. After a violent collision, Daomeng and Sword Chi collapsed in the void. Finally, it collided with the wave of piano sound. In the end, the wave of piano sound also collapsed. Then, this blood-red wave collided with the Xiaoyao formation arranged by Li Chengqing. Crack. A sound of formation cracking came out. When this formation is broken, the blood-red wave also disappears, and it collapses into the void. After seeing this scene, Filazong sect leader and others were stunned. The cultivation base of Changzan and others in front of them is obviously not high. The power of these 4 combined blows, but block the blow of the Dharma realm first stage. These 4 disciples are too heaven-defying. Hiss, Xiaoyao sect, who is the master of these guys? How could he train 4 apprentices who are so heaven-defying? The Ascension Hall master said in disbelief. I saw Xiaoyao sect leader the other day. Apart from his handsome appearance, he was ordinary, but these disciples were beyond my expectations. Chong Yuan really couldn't figure out why these 4 small guys are so heaven-defying. It's incredible, the sect master of Fatianmen also exclaimed. At such a young age, there is such an extraordinary cultivation base. This means that the future of these 4 guys is infinite. Of course, the owner of the Ascension Hall and others are more curious about the person behind Changzan and others. Because if the person behind Changzan is not strong, then there will definitely not be such heaven-defying Changzan and others. The 4 of you can actually block my blow. You are really good, Jia. I like it more and more. The higher the cultivation base, the more delicious it is for men to smoke, and the more enjoyable for women to play. Bloody said gloomily. The cultivation base of Changzan, Shirishin and others in front of him was obviously 2 realms lower than him. However, the blow that was bombarded by the combined force just now was perfectly coordinated. It blocked his blow. This made Shui Sha very surprised. My dear grandson, you should hurry and run away, or when my master comes, you may cry. Shirishin said lightly. Shirishin said so, but he was still a little flustered inside. Because Shirishin knew, the blow just now, Zusha estimated that even 1/10 of its power was useless. If the next bloody full blow, they can't get enough to eat and walk around. Jia, you 4 little fellows, do you really think you are really invincible? This seat tells you that I just used a little power just now. Next, I will let you know how cruel and sinister this society is. Bloody said solemnly. The stronger Shirishin and others are, the happier the blood demon is naturally. At the same time, the location of Xiaoyao Zong. Lu Chengge frowned at this moment. There was an ominous feeling inside. And the feeling is very strong. When the apprentices left that day, I saw the death energy on their heads, and now I'm very uneasy. It seems that I'm going to fly to the Fili sect. Now they are my inverse scales. Without them, my road to becoming stronger will be ruined, so no matter what, my 4 apprentices will never be able to do anything. Lu Chengge couldn't help thinking to himself. Then got up from the recliner. Next, Lu Chengge is the transformation art. Change your own appearance. Then run the shrinking into the inch technique. Come to Filazong. At the same time, the location of Filazong. After the bloody words were finished, the blood-colored wave on Shui Sha spread out like a vast ocean. The purpose of the blood evil is obvious. That is to refine Shirishin. Because the blood on Shirishin's body is too thick. Feel the terrifying aura around the blood. Shirishin and the others showed a solemn look. Sixuan, I'm too weak now, so I can't protect the 4 of you, but I can give you some of my power, and you can escape safely. Mu Shui said to Xiao Sixuan. Mu Shui at this moment also sensed danger. If it was heyday, naturally, Mu Shui was able to kill Shui Sha easily. But now, Mu Shui exists in a soul state, and it hasn't recovered much yet. Therefore, Mu Shui was naturally unable to fight against this blood evil. However, Mu Shui can ensure that Xiao Sixuan leaves here safely. Mu Lao, how could I leave my senior sister and senior brother to run away alone? The master once said that the 4 of us are one. I will bear it together when I encounter difficulties, and I will share the blessings and the hardships. Even if I die, I will not escape here alone. Xiao Sixuan shook her head and said. Cheer, but I admire your responsibility and courage. Mu Shui said involuntarily. Kid, die for me, and then let you become part of my body. When Mu Shui was talking to Xiao Sixuan. At this moment, the bloody screamed. The next moment, that monstrous blood wave. It was like a tornado that rolled towards Shirishin and others. The speed of this blood-red wave is too fast. Shirishin and the others couldn't react at all. Seeing that Shirishin and the others were about to be wrapped by the blood-colored wave, a cold snort came from the distant sky. This cold humming sound is obviously thousands of miles away. But with this cold humming sound came out. The next moment, A figure suddenly appeared here. When the figure appeared, he flicked his fingers. Suddenly, an invisible wave swept out, and then swept away toward the blood-red wave that blasted Shirishin and others. Puff! When this blood-red wave collided with the invisible ripples, the blood-red wave bombarded by the blood shattered instantly and dissipated into nothingness. Seeing the attack of the blood shattering, it dissipated invisibly. Everyone's eyes are looking towards the void. At this moment, I saw a figure standing in the void. This figure is wearing a white robe, and the white robe is automatic without wind, giving people an indescribable dashing and elegant, but his face is a bit ugly. But the flaws do not hide the beauty. The overall temperament of this figure is unparalleled. Especially those eyes, as if reflecting the sun and moon stars. Who are you? Shui Sha frowned, and the pair of exposed eyes asked with a bloodthirsty luster. The man in white in front of him made Shui Sha unable to see through for a while. Because the man in white didn't have the slightest breath to release. But just now, his attack was shattered. This made Shui Sha a little confused at the moment. I'm Jibata, the leader of the Jill's tough gang, Blood Evil. I don't want to kill people, get your people out of here quickly, or die. The man in white said lightly. Although the man in white said calmly, the threat in his tone was self-evident. If the blood demon doesn't get out of here at the moment, a dead end. Jibata, the leader of the Fuhu gang. Where is this broken gang? I've never heard of it before. Hearing the man in white claiming his own name, the black question mark face with a bloody expression on his face. Because of this gang, Blood Evil has never been seen or heard of. Old Chong, what is the origin of this Fuhu gang? Why haven't I heard of this gang? The owner of the Ascension Hall and others were also extremely curious. I haven't heard of it either. Fei Leizong sect leader recalled carefully in his mind. It seems that there is really no name called Jibata in his memory. Bah, what a serious name, how does it sound weird? The sect master of Fatianmen couldn't help but spat. No matter what his name is, Jibata or Jibashao, as long as he can kill the blood demon, he will be our savior and reborn parent. The city lord of Feixian City couldn't help saying. Senior sister, brother, who is he? It feels so familiar to me. Xiao Sixuan asked after glancing at the man in white in the void. I know who he is. Cheng Zan said with a smile. Who is it? Shirishin and others asked curiously. Master, Cheng Zan said with certainty. What, Shizen? How is it possible? Our Shizen is so handsome. It's not like that, Shirishin and Li Chengqing said in disbelief. Don't doubt, who is Shizen? He is a man who can turn the world upside down. It's normal for him to change his appearance, but Shizen changes his appearance, but he can't change the inner taste of a man that belongs to Shizen. Cheng Zan said. When you say that, I also think this is Master, because it seems that no one can save us except Master. Xiao Sixuan nodded and said. It makes sense, Master is really a clever plan, nothing in this world can escape Master's control. Li Chengqing and Shirishin both sighed. In fact, what Cheng Zan and others guessed was correct. At this moment, the man in white who claimed to be the leader of Jill's tough gang in the void was indeed Lu Chengge. It's just that Lu Chengge used transformation art to make it easier this time. So even though the Fei Leizong sect leader Chong Yuan, who had seen Lu Chengge, did not recognize that the man in white was Lu Chengge himself. Jia, Your Excellency, I advise you to stay out of your business. This is the grievance between this seat and the four sects, and it has nothing to do with Your Excellency. If Your Excellency insists on participating in this matter, this seat does not mind treating you as blood food. Sen said. I'm in charge of Jibata today. Lu Chengge said lightly. If that's the case, then don't blame me for being rude, give me death. Hearing Lu Chengge insisting on taking care, Zusha roared angrily. With the blood evil roaring out. The blood evil is moving. A cold magic lingered around him. The figure came towards Lu Chengge like a ghost. In the eyes of others. Blood at the moment. It feels like an afterimage. Can't see clearly at all. This blood demon is terrifying. I have never killed such a terrifying powerhouse before, so be careful. Lu Chengge couldn't help thinking. Then, when he saw that the blood evil was about to rush in front of him. The next moment, Lu Chengge is to cast the shrinking earth into an inch. It just disappeared. The speed of Lu Chengge's shrinking the ground into an inch is too fast. It is blood evil. There was no response at the moment. Death. After Zusha arrived at the place where Lu Chang'e was, the red umbrella in his hand instantly washed away a huge wave of red. Then blasted to Lu Chang'e in front of him. As everyone knows. At this moment, what the blood demon saw was only the afterimage of Lu Chang'e. In fact, Lu Chang'e himself had already disappeared in place. Jia, I thought how strong you are, but it looks like that. Seeing Lu Chang'e hit, Shui Sha couldn't help but let out Tsunere's laughter. In the eyes of blood evil. At this moment, Lu Chang'e may have turned into a blood mist in the surging heavenly demon aura of his own. My blood demon sect, invincible, the leader of the blood demon, Wen Chengwu, for thousands of years, ruled rivers and lakes. My blood demon sect, invincible, the leader of the blood demon, Wen Chengwu, for thousands of years, ruled rivers and lakes. After hearing the laughter of his sect leader, the thousands of cultivators of the blood demon sect below all congratulated him. And Zusha listened to the congratulations from the blood demon sect present. The heart is very useful. Shui Sha is also very proud of his own strength. Alas, we are sure to die today. Seeing Lu Chang'e being wrapped in a blood-colored wave bombarded by the blood evil like this, the Filezong sect leader and others fell into despair once again. I thought that the man in white had some skills. I didn't think it was just a joke. Ji Bada, the leader of Jill's hard bang bang gang, might as well call Jill's soft bang bang gang's leader Ji Bashao. Senior sister, our master will be fine, right? Li Chengqing couldn't help clenching his fists when he saw the blood-colored wave shrouding the heavens covering the sun. Of course not. Cheng Zan shook her head firmly. Really? Right at the next moment. A magnetic male voice came out in the air. Zusha, do you think my Ji Bada is dead? Just when Zusha and the others were extremely contented, a voice suddenly came out. Zusha, do you think my Ji Bada is dead? Hear this voice. Bloody couldn't help frowning. He turned sharply. It is to see a peerless white-clothed figure who is elegant and out of the dust, and I don't know when he has already stood behind him. Standing tall and proud, he stood there, his clothes fluttering. Just like the nine heavens immortal king who just descended from the sky. This person is clearly Ji Bada, and not someone else. How is that possible? What about you? Shui Sha's expression changed at this moment. The blood fiend originally thought that Lu Chang'e was dead. But I didn't expect it to be alive and well. At this moment, the blood evil finally reacted. It turned out that what he hit just now was just an afterimage of Ji Bada. And Ji Bada himself, when he reached the other side, had disappeared under his own attack. This person is a bit evil. Shui Sha's face became cautious at this moment. This Ji Bada senior is not dead, he's fine, maybe he's our savior. Chong Yuan and the others were incomparably desperate. But after seeing that Ji Bada has nothing at this moment, Chong Yuan and others couldn't help but get excited. Zusha, you cultivate magic skills, and your sins are monstrous. Next, I will purify your soul. Lu Chang'e said lightly. With Lu Chang'e's words falling, Lu Chang'e waved his arm lightly. Time. A guqin appeared in Lu Chang'e's hands. The whole body of this guqin is aquamarine. The endless rhythm above circulates. When the guqin appeared, everyone present felt a sense of depression. Is this a fairy weapon? After seeing this guqin, Chong Yuan and others all felt a sense of depression. As for Shui Sha, he frowned. A look of horror in his eyes. Although Shui Sha is not sure what level of treasure the guqin in Lu Chang'e's hands is. But it made Shui Sha feel a sense of crisis. Lu Qi, one of the 10 great immortal weapons. Mu Shui shouted in disbelief after seeing the guqin in Lu Chang'e's hand. Elder Mu, you said that the guqin in Master's hand is Lu Qi, one of the top 10 immortals in our Xingyuan continent. Hiss, who is Master? After hearing Mu Shui's shocked words, Xiao Sixuan was also the same, surprised. Xiao Sixuan is the piano repairer. It is natural to know some things about piano repair. Lu Qi, that is one of the rumored 10 great immortal artifacts of Xingyuan continent. But according to rumors, these 10 immortal artifacts have long since disappeared from the Xingyuan continent. But he didn't expect that this Lu Qi was actually held by his master. But it seems reasonable to be held by Lu Senior. After all, Lu Senior is not an ordinary person. After being shocked, Mu Shui shook her head again. From the moment I met Lu Chang'e for the first time, Mu Shui had already determined that Lu Changge was not an ordinary person. It is likely that it is the kind of supreme immortal who comes to experience the mundane world. Old Mu is right, what kind of person Shizen does, it's all right to do anything. Xiao Sixuan also said. The reverence for Lu Changge in his heart has reached an incomparable level. Ding, it is detected that the apprentice Xiao Sixuan's reverence for the host has increased to a new level, and the host's charm value will be rewarded with +10. Just when Lu Changge was about to play the piano to purify the dirty soul of the blood in front of him, Lu Changge's mind there came the sound of the system. Damn, system, don't increase the charm value anymore, my charm is very good now. Lu Changge said helplessly. But since the system has already rewarded, Lu Changge also accepted the +10 charm value unceremoniously. After all, no one thinks they are handsome. The next moment, Lu Changge picked up Lu Qi. Blood, please listen to the song, House of Flying Daggers. Lu Changge said sternly. With Lu Changge's words falling, Lu Changge sat upright. Then lotus position sat in the void. Lu Changge at this moment. It feels like a different person from before. The Lu Changge just now had a bit of playfulness. But at this moment, Lu Changge became chilled. HMPH, just relying on a broken piano, you also want to purify the soul of this seat. You are dreaming, Shui Sha said in a deep voice, killing intent on his body awe-inspiring. Give me death, the sky is full of blood. Shui Sha roared, and the monstrous breath on his body was released. Shui Sha did not hold back any longer this time. Want to kill Lu Changge in one hit. Lu Changge no longer pays attention to the blood evil. Instead, he started pointing directly at Lu Qi in his hand. Zheng, a melody came out. This sound of the piano is like opening up the primordial realm, and there is a roar of thunder. Like the symphony of golden stone, Pangbo is boundless. It is like a big pearl and a small pearl falling on a jade plate. Clang clang. Then, the sound of the Qin rushed out like an army of thousands of horses. In an instant, everyone present seemed to be in an ancient battlefield, and the bloody wave that bombarded the sky was full of blood. Dissipated in an instant. This is the ancient fairy sound. How can this piano sound have a natural restraint effect on me? Ah! After hearing this sound, Bloody couldn't help screaming. It's not just blood evil. Even everyone from the blood demon sect. It was as if they had entered a Shira battlefield in an instant. They are now facing thousands of troops. These thousands of troops seem to be the embodiment of justice. Let these crooked demons have nowhere to stay. As for Chong Yuan and others, the sound of the piano was another scene. Chong Yuan and others seemed to be in a secret realm. There are fairy sounds lingering here. This fairy sound is washing their souls and tempering their bodies. Let Chong Yuan and others benefit endlessly. Even many disciples present felt the shackles of breakthrough. In the same place, the sound of the piano is actually a fight on one side and an immortal sound on the other. Hiss, Lu Senior is too terrifying. Feeling this ancient immortal sound, Mu Shui was shocked again. Mu Shui felt that when she was in Zhongzhou, she was good enough and strong enough. But now, Mu Shui knew. In this world, there are heavens, and there are people outside people. Her little cultivation base was not worth mentioning in front of Senior Lu. Puff! Under the cleansing of this chilling piano sound, Blood Demon stepped backwards. He vomited blood frantically. At the same time, every cultivator in the Blood Demon sect is like this. One by one, the whole body was wrapped in the waves of the piano sound. He was suffering the pain of the underworld in his heart. Ah! Zusha's eyes were bloodshot and his real energy was madly rushing towards the red umbrella in his hand. Then he took out the red umbrella in his hand. Prepare to kill Lu Changge. However, what Zusha never dreamed of was the peerless treasure that he thought, the Blood Demon umbrella, the treasure of the Blood Demon sect, was just sacrificed by him. It turned into a red smoke and disappeared, directly destroyed by the sound of the piano. Then, this wave of piano sound is wrapped in blood evil. Do not. When the wave of the piano sound wrapped around the blood evil could not help but let out a scream. Because Shui Sha felt that his body was slowly being corroded by the sound of the piano. His breath is also slowly wilting, as if the wave of the sound of the piano was pervasive. However, can't bear to think too much about blood. Soon, This blood evil was directly strangled by the sound of the piano and turned into a blood mist. At the same time, every disciple of the blood demon sect was strangled by Lu Qi and disappeared from the spot. After killing the blood demon and all the disciples of the blood demon sect, Lu Chengge stopped playing the piano and waved his arm. Time. The 4 disciples, Cheng Zan, Shi Rishan, Li Chengqing and Xiao Sixuan, were enveloped by a gentle force and returned to Lu Chengge. Master, is it really you? Cheng Zan asked, looking at the white-clothed man in front of him with an extraordinary temperament. I'm not, I'm Jibata, the leader of the Hard Bang Bang Gang. Lu Chengge shook his head and said, Master, don't lie to us, you can change your appearance, but the temperament like an immortal and the inner taste on your body can't be changed. Cheng Zan smiled. Cheng Zan was 100% sure that the person in front of her was Lu Chengge. Evil disciple, is there any lingering smell in the teacher's body? Hearing Cheng Zan's words, Lu Chengge couldn't help but turn his face in a black thread. He is very diligent in washing the small room. Lu Chengge is sure that there is no internal taste at all. Because Lu Chengge has a clean obsession, that is, he has to smell any clothes himself before wearing them. As for Xiao Sixuan, at this moment, her heart was full of shock. This time Lu Chengge made a move, but it was the first time Xiao Sixuan saw Master make a move. His master is really domineering. A sect in the blink of an eye just vanished into ashes. There are probably not many in this world with such strength. Although the other disciples of the blood demon sect are not very good. But that blood evil, but the power of the law realm. Dharma sign realm is enough to dominate the existence on one side. But in front of his master, he couldn't even make a move. Sixuan, you are really lucky. It is your honor and my honor to be able to worship a peerless master like Lu Senior as a master. When Xiao Sixuan was surprised, Mu Shui faced Xiao Sixuan's divine sense preaching. Mu Shui was once a peerless genius in the central region, and his strength was incomparably formidable. I have seen many strong people. But Mu Shui felt that there were not many who could compare with the Lu Chengge in front of him. Because of Lu Chengge, she couldn't see the length and thickness at all. This is very incredible. Old Mu, do you think the master is really an immortal? Could it be that there really exist immortals in this world? Xiao Sixuan couldn't help asking Mu Shui. Because I haven't seen an immortal, I don't dare to answer your question rashly, but what I can say for sure is that Lu Senior is more immortal than immortal. Mu Shui replied in a very determined tone. Hearing what Mu Shui said, Xiao Sixuan couldn't help revealing a gleam in her eyes. Xiao Sixuan has been occupied by darkness since she didn't have cultivation base. But since taking Lu Chengge as his teacher, Xiao Sixuan feels that she has found a way to the future. Xiao Sixuan feels that her future is promising. If she continues in this cultivation state, she should not be long before she can go to Tianyan sect and seek justice for herself. Let's go. Lu Chengge's thoughts flowed, and he performed the shrinking the earth into an inch. With 4 apprentices, he disappeared from the spot in an instant. As for the current Fili sect leader Chong Yuan and the other disciples of the 4 major forces. At this moment, one by one is immersed in an extremely mysterious state. One by one, they began to immerse themselves in the cultivation state. He didn't even realize that the blood demon was dead at the moment. They didn't even find a blood demon sect, which they thought was a big one, had been wiped out by Lu Chengge. All practitioners present. In the washing of the sound of the piano, I found that trace of the shackles of cultivation base. Thereby one by one break through quickly. Chong Yuan and the others seemed to have found a trace of the avenue from the sound of the piano just now. Boom. After having an epiphany for a while. There was a burst of roaring sounds one after another. Then one by one broke through quickly. The roar was endless. After breakthrough, Chong Yuan couldn't help but open his eyes. Haha, cultivation base, which I've been stagnant for more than 100 years, has actually made a breakthrough. Chong Yuan let out a hearty laugh. Happy to close the legs. It's not just that you have made a breakthrough, I have made a breakthrough too. Just after Chong Yuan's words fell, the master of the Fisheng Pavilion, the master of Feixian City, and the elders present showed a bright smile like a chrysanthemum. It's all the credit of that Jibata Senior just now. Jibata Senior is really a genius. Ambush is too strong. Thinking of the scene just now, Chong Yuan and the others couldn't help but admire him. Hey, they are bloody. Disciples of the Blood Demon sect. At this moment, the master of the Ascension Pavilion was all looking forward, and his heart was full of wonder. But now here's a look at it. Nothing at all. Empty. Even Bada Sr. was not seen. This made the owner of the Ascension Hall and others full of curiosity. Could it be that Shui Sha was scared away by Bada Sr.? But this is impossible. Evil sects generally do not cry without seeing the coffin. Generally, when you go to a place, not killing people is definitely not the way of evil sect. Blood evil just left like this. Are you willing? I used a shadow stone when the blood demon came. At that time, I thought that if our 4 sects were destroyed, I hope that other forces can see from this shadow stone, and then destroy the blood demon sect, otherwise there will be many people were killed by the blood demon sect. We can just take a look, said Faishan City Lord. Then a shadow stone appeared in his hand. The city lord of Faishan City broke into the shadow stone with a burst of real energy. Suddenly, a picture appeared in everyone's sight. At this moment, I saw Lu Qi playing in the hands of Bada. A wave of killing intent swept across. The blood demon and the disciples of the blood demon sect were instantly wiped out. After killing the blood demon sect and others, Changzan and others all returned to Bada. Next, this photo stone is a direct explosion. Can't see anything. After watching this scene, the scene was extremely quiet. Filezong sect leader Chong Yuan, the owner of the Ascension Hall and others, were turbulent in their hearts. Everyone was amazed by the terrifying strength of Bada just now. Hiss. Bada Sr.'s strength is too strong, and a sect is destroyed at the click of a finger. This strength is terrible. After being quiet for a long time, the master of the Ascension Hall couldn't help but said, with a bit of tremolo in his voice. It's very strong, so it is. I know who this G8th senior is. Chong Yuan's eyes suddenly lit up and he said, who is it? The owner of the Ascension Hall and others all looked at Chong Yuan, revealing a touch of great curiosity. Yes. Chong Yuan deliberately lengthened his tone, not wanting to say it all at once. Old Chong, tell me who this senior is. Don't betray me. Yeah, Chong, I'm itchy when you scratched me. Hurry up, or I'll grab you, little Gigi. The owner of the Ascension Hall and others urged. Everyone is very curious. Who is Bada Sr., the self-proclaimed leader of Jill's tough gang who saved them today? Because the owner of the Ascension Hall and others all know that Bada must be a pseudonym. Who would give themselves a name like this when they have nothing to do? If it is really Bada, it is estimated that it will not show off in front of everyone. And only let the girls know. He is Xiaoyao sect leader Lu Chengge Sr. Chong Yuan said. What? He is the ordinary Lu Chengge you said, except for his handsome appearance. How is this possible? Didn't you say that you didn't feel any culture base from him? Yeah, logically it shouldn't. Didn't Xiaoyao sect have been expelled from the Sacred Land United Guild long ago? How could such a terrifying heaven-defying exist? The city lord of Faishan City also said incredulously. I thought the same thing at the time, but now I'm sure it's him. He was originally dressed in white and had an extraordinary temperament. Maybe he just didn't want too many people to know his appearance, so he changed his face. One more thing I can be sure of is him, because if it wasn't for Lu Chengge Sr., after beheading Zusha and others, they wouldn't have taken Cheng Zan, Shi Rishan, Li Chengqing and Xiao Sixuan with him. Chong said far with certainty. Hiss, I really can't imagine that there is such a powerful and terrifying existence in a dilapidated Xiaoyao sect. I really want to visit this peerless master, and then see the style of the master. The master of the Ascension Hall couldn't help but feel a little bit longing for the road. A piano sound. 2 regions can be formed. The sound of the piano in one area is used to kill people. One is used to help other disciples make breakthroughs. What kind of cultivation base can this be achieved? The owner of the Ascension Hall felt that he could not imagine it. We can't go. Lu Chengge Sr. quoted a pseudonym just now. The implication is that he doesn't want too many people to know him. Another point is, didn't the photo stone explode when we saw the back? His intention is obvious, that is, to warn all of us that today's matter should not be rumored, we just need to know. Chong Yuan couldn't help saying. When you say that, I think it makes sense. If that's the case, then we shouldn't visit. When I go back, I will create a sculpture of Liu Changge Sr. to express my gratitude. If it weren't for Liu Changge Sr., we would all die today, undoubtedly. That's right, Liu Changge Sr. is our reborn parent. Hearing what Chong Yuan said, the master of the Ascension Hall and others all nodded. And Liu Changge here. Liu Changge's shrinking the earth into an inch is just an instant effort. It is back to the location of Xiaoyaozong. Liu Changge's thoughts flowed. The face returned to the original handsome and unparalleled appearance. Sure enough, everything can't escape the master's control. The master is obviously thousands of miles away, but he knows that the Blood Demon sect will come to destroy the four major forces. After confirming that it was their master who saved them today, Shirishin and others were extremely shocked. Disciples, your performance today is not bad. When you are in danger, you will unite with each other, but your strength is not strong enough. Then you can cultivate, Liu Changge said. Today Cheng Zan, Shirishin, Li Chengqing and Xiao Sixuan fought against Blood Demon sect leader Blood Demon. Liu Changge naturally saw it. However, the strength of the four major disciples is still not strong enough. Yes, master, Cheng Zan and others were taught with humility. Why don't you go to cultivation? Why are you standing still? Liu Changge said involuntarily. Master, I still want to hear you play the piano, can you play another song for us? Cheng Zan said involuntarily, with a look of anticipation in his eyes. They benefited a lot when Liu Changge played House of Flying Daggers today. Master, I want to hear it too. Shirishin and others also showed a look of anticipation. Okay, then I'll play a song for you as a teacher. Liu Changge nodded. Next, Liu Changge took out Liu Qi. Then began to play a song for the four apprentices. The four apprentices were mesmerized. The four disciples were fascinated by the sight. Liu Changge is also quite accomplished. Back then, when he first crossed into this world, he had nothing. It is also bound to a very tricky system. But now, Liu Changge is under the efforts of the four apprentices. All of a sudden there are many means to save lives. Liu Changge had to sigh. As long as the apprentices cultivate and work hard, there will be bread and milk. Okay, let's go cultivation now. Liu Changge couldn't help urging after playing a song. The harder your apprentice is, the luckier you are. How terrifying the combat power is at the top of the world, Liu Changge said he didn't quite understand it. Therefore, Liu Changge must make his disciples cultivate hard, and then he must become stronger. Because Liu Changge has no other cards. The only trump card is that several apprentices cultivate well, and then let the system reward themselves for being the strongest. Yes, master. Several of the apprentices went back to cultivate. Cultivation has no years. Soon, another month has passed. Several apprentices are also progressing rapidly. However, the rewards of the next system are not very rich. This made Liu Changge anxious. If this goes on, it is very difficult to become a peerless powerhouse. Looks like I'll have to find a way to recruit apprentices. Liu Changge couldn't help thinking. But the idea of Liu Changge just appeared. The system's voice appeared in Liu Changge's mind. Ding! In view of the strong desire of the host to accept apprentices, please go to Longyuan City to accept a girl named Long Lingshan. As long as the apprentice is successful, there will be rich rewards. The system said to Liu Changge. Long Lingshan. System, where does she live? This city is huge. Liu Changge couldn't help asking the system when he heard the system's mission. Liu Changge knew. The entire Longyuan city is not small, and asking him to find a girl from Longlingshan would undoubtedly be looking for a needle in a haystack. The scope of tasks given by this system is too large. Ding, please find the host yourself. The system said rudely. Okay, I got it, dog system. Liu Changge said with a black face when he heard the system's rude words. Next, Liu Changge told the four apprentices to cultivate well. And Liu Changge came to the Longyuan city that the system said. Thanks for watching, please like and subscribe.